Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Depends on where you are in the time zone. Our guest is in afternoon, and I'm in the morning, which is kind of weird to me. I just want to say hi to everyone and how everyone is doing. Um, Thank you for all joining today again. We have an awesome guest again. It's actually our first or sorry, well, I guess our first reoccurring guest, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah, our guest today is already become a reoccurring guest. In the last podcast, she told us of her KFC addictions and how she turns into the Incredible Hulk when she's serious. Today, we hope to see how incredibly deep we can get with Miss Brunetti. Please help me welcome
Oh no.
again, Miss Brunetti.
Hi,
How you doing?
chat. Hi, everyone. I'm good. I'm glad I'm back.
That's
We
good.
got to abruptly cut it, so I'm glad I'm here again.
Right. So let's go. That's the whole point. I wanted to have you back on. I think with the you kind of got snuffed on your last visit here. Is we got very
Yeah.
surface level, and that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is very deep, and that's kind of the point of it all. So I wanted to um, get how get a little
Both of our
deeper and see how
ADHD
things are.
brain just saw chat, so I see where your
Right.
brain just went. We both went
Yeah.
zoop and zoned out for a second.
Let
I think your
let me
phone is
know.
fucked up, Jordan, because we can hear everything.
Um,
Penny.
Yeah, maybe. Hang on one second. Everyone
Yes,
good? Everyone can hear? Because before we started here, anyone having
I
audio
can hear.
issues? Because yeah, we'll take a little pause here if there is an issue with audio. That's no problem at all. We can figure that out, fix it up. Um,
Panther, please.
I'm not getting
Why are you
any
being weird?
responses. I can hear. Okay, that's good. Is the quality like good as we can hear? Okay, Jordan can't.
Jordan,
Chad can.
refresh. Tell him to refresh.
Yeah, everyone refresh, see if that works, and see if that resets the stream. Um, let's see. Hopefully, I wonder if that's just because we dropped right before the stream started here.
Yeah, me too.
'Cause I think that might be part of it. Is maybe it was there was a bit of a drop because of that. There should be all the audio here. I'm hoping.
I can hear it
Let me
when
know.
I just tuned into yours
Okay.
and like turned on the sound. I can hear both of us. I think it's just their
Okay.
need to refresh.
All right. Yeah. Refresh and then what's it called and hit up that volume on that phone. So hopefully you guys can hear it because we love to hear you guys. There we go. Awesome. Okay.
There
So
we
yeah.
go.
So
Yeah,
refresh
Chad
and
says there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
awesome. Alrighty, thank you. Appreciate it, Chad. Um, so let's go. So just before we kind of get started here is more or less is if you guys have a question, and I hope you are kind of open to answering this too, and we'll kind of watch it too, and depending on how it goes, Brun. But if it is the if you're okay with it, I would love for anyone on our stream to come and ask us both questions. So last time I kind of opened it just to me, but I think it'd be kind of interesting is if anyone has questions for you, is if we were to jump in onto the Discord and the streamlines, and if people were to ask questions or have anything like that, they would be able to. Um,
Yeah,
so
I'm down for that.
we sounds good, awesome. So if you guys do exclamation mark chat, it'll teach you how to do all that stuff in there. Um, on
Hi,
that part
Brandon's
of
mom.
the stream. um, but yeah, so let's go. So let's get into the questions because I think we still only have a certain amount of time, and I don't want to waste any more time like last
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think some people are materialistic. Not everyone is. I I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Would you consider yourself materialistic or no?
I think I'm to an extent. Like I'm not greed materialistic or
Of
in
course.
a way like a jealousy materialistic, but I like things that have sentimental value, and sometimes those things are a little bit more expensive than others. And I
Okay.
like to show what I work for. So my home, my car, my anything that I have that I can show, I like to be able to show like I have this value. I think that's very important to have value, but I don't think I'm materialistic in a sense of like my my love language is I need expensive gifts. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair. That's fair. That's fair. So if you were given three things that were items to make you
Yeah.
happy, what would those three things be?
Like general happiness, can it be something living
Um,
or just a just a literal item.
Explain, and then we'll see. Possibly.
Well, I would say like my cats bring me a lot of happiness because like they're like the things I care for, and I rescued all three of them. I rescued from
Okay.
pretty bad situations, so that makes
Okay.
me happy is to be able to include like my cat. But if I can't, I would say my phone because like I can really just stay connected with anyone. So a phone, even though that's so like technology age, young age person to say my phone, but definitely my phone. What is another item? If I was thinking like just regular items, I would say phone, my car probably because I have a lot of freedom with it. I can go everywhere.
True.
And I would say my engagement ring is my third item that brings me happiness.
Okay. And those are all fair ones.
Yeah.
I
You
think.
can't get deep with that.
Yeah, and so I think that one's one to kind of to make you think, because I think
Yeah.
we spend so much time thinking about how we can't be materialistic,
Hmm.
and to kind of flip the script and be like, oh, like what does actually kind of like make me happy in like something that I have. And obviously it's not great to depend on those items,
No.
but you always still want to have things that make you happy that maybe aren't related to other things in
Your
certain
mom agrees
senses.
with me.
Yeah. my mom loves her cats. Like once I moved out, I think those cats became the replacement at home for for
They
who
are
the
now
child
the
was.
baby. Yeah.
They are the oh
Does she
totally.
call them your
Uh,
siblings? Is she like, this is your
no,
sibling? Oh my God,
no.
Erin's mom has 4 rescue cats. She calls them like she's like, here's baby Chi. Like our cats are her cats like cousins. Like they're like an extended family. She's like, they're all siblings. It's actually
She has
funny.
a couple names for them. She had an Instagram that was more popular than mine for like the longest time. Which
For
shout
cats?
out shout out to, well, I think it's Phoebe and Miko. Mom, if you want to tag the ad on in the chat, go for it. I have no problem if anyone wants to see it. What's it called? She did lose her account because it did get hacked by Instagram, and
Mm.
unfortunately, she wasn't able to get it back. So she's reset her account. They are my siblings, apparently. Um,
Do you want to know my secret? I also have an Instagram
Go
for
for
my
it.
cats.
You do. I think you're gonna have to be. You're gonna have to be friends. They have what's called box paw teas
I'm
every
trying to
Friday,
find.
I think it is. So you may have
I
to.
I never use mine. I haven't used mine since May, but I used to use it and I got like 100 followers on there within like a week, and then I just like kind of stopped using it. But we should follow. I'll give it to you off because I never use it, but I'll
Sounds
give it
good.
to you later, and your mom can follow my cat.
I'm sure she will. Let's go. You guys can guys be best friends, or the cats can be best friends.
There she goes, the
Um,
new one.
exactly. So let's go. Next question. This is kind of going off of what we were just in a sense. As a force, are we humans creative or destructive?
Oh no. I think we're creatively destructive. We're all very intelligent as a species, as a force, and so all we want to do is create buildings, roadways, technology, and then because of that, we're destructive because of
Yeah.
war and the rainforest and destroying land and stuff. It's like the greater good kind of thing. Without it, we wouldn't evolve and we would be nothing, but with it, we also destroy a lot of things. So I would say both. Yeah,
Yeah. And
creatively
like
destructive.
and I think, yeah, like it's we touched on this a little bit last stream, with the CJ interview, and I really like this question because I think it's so interesting to see how people think. And it's hard because I don't think, obviously you don't want to seem as just completely destructive,
Yeah.
because what are we here for if we're completely destructive? But there's no denying that we definitely are. I believe the creative side of us comes from the probably the smartest minds that we have on this earth, like the
Hmm.
scientists and the people who are trying to better our world in some sense, whether that be, I mean, technology. I don't know if that's the tip top best way, but also I would say the people that are creating are pushing the limits, like getting us to other, trying to get us to move to other planets. So that is maybe not for everyone, but it's something that's definitely interesting in some sort of sense.
That's for the rich. We don't make that cut, Bren.
Right, right. Well, I mean, maybe. And this is going back to kind of the question that I asked you before. What gives meaning to your life?
Don't ask me that. Oh, I'm 23. I don't have meaning to life at the moment. I just exist. I just am here vibing, trying to live my life. I don't know. I would say right now, the meaning to my life is just my coexistence with my loved ones. I don't think my loved ones are my meaning of life because that's putting too much on a person, and I don't ever want to do that. If anything, God forbid, ever happen to my friends and family, I want them to know that I will move on without you, even no matter how hard it is. But
Just cut.
how cut out of my life. But I'd say like yeah, my existence is just for my friends and my family, and but I'm 23. I mean, I got so much more to learn in life to live. I don't have a reason to be here. I don't know my reason. I don't even know what my job is going to be in the next year. So is that an answer?
Okay.
Is that a weird answer?
Like I just suppose like I think yeah, like there's no wrong answers on this, to be fair.
True.
As long as you don't get canceled by the end of this show, you've answered them correctly.
Who knows?
Right. And we talked about that last time too a little bit. But I think as far as that is there's definitely no wrong answers in that sense. So I'm sure that can be your answer, no problem. I'm gonna kind of
meaning of life. Why are you here?
My meaning of life, I think, to create and try something different and challenge people to think differently. That would be kind of the best way I could put it right now. I find an interest in how people tick and how what I can say can change someone's thinking. And that's definitely been something that's interested me a lot. And I think that's Bren's meaning is to make people think. Exactly.
Chat. Do you hear that? He's trying to use us for his own gain.
Or induce mental change. Exactly. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
But I think is getting people to think in a way that they might not think prior and get them to challenge how they think. And one thing I've realized is that I have a quality, and I mean, it is not meant to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I have a quality of being able to kind of is to be able to think of how I can see different perspectives quickly. And it's something that I've noticed I've gotten a lot better at. And even if it's something that I really disagree with, I've found ways to relate in certain senses, even just to be able to connect and understand certain situations. And it's something that I've found interesting, and almost challenging myself in that has become like almost a interesting kind of meaning in a sense.
Becoming more than a hobby.
Totally.
We love it.
And going totally off topic, but I also was just thinking about this too. So if you've seen the TikTok that was released today, I asked all the streamers toilet paper over or under. I realized the question that I asked you on stream got corrupt, and I do not have any answer from you. So I'm wondering, toilet paper over or under?
Over?
Over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will place it over. Am I mad if it's under? No. Will I change it? Probably.
See, I'm the opposite, where I would be upset if it was under, and I would also change it if it was under. CJ, I see you in chat. Calm down.
Is he under?
He's an under. So it's going. So that's one of the things in the TikTok.
That is like some unorganized man in chat. I'm not, under
right?
is you over the way. How do you even under? You could. What if it just keeps going? It just keeps rolling down. Over, it kind of stops that because you have to pull it.
Apparently, it's the other way around. Apparently, from what I've been actually told.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It actually is. So we talked about that. We talked about it last time. There's a TikTok that I ran into, but it's funny that the marketing guy says that, and I taught him about that. But I almost broke up a friendship from that question a couple times.
Over toilet paper?
Over toilet paper.
Just annoys me.
And see, it's things like that I love, because it's something so silly, but people are so highly opinionated on it. And I don't know if it's just
You know,
I
how
don't know if
many of
it's
you in chat right now you're telling me over, under, we're arguing about this. How many of you have just sat that toilet paper on a counter and been like, fuck it, I'm not even putting it in the holder. Because I know all of you have done it in the past and it has stayed like that
totally.
for almost an entire roll. So this is not an argument to be having.
Right? I've had people that have literally placed it down, like, or what's called, I had streamers that said to me they're like sideways, and I was like, that wasn't one of the options. You have to choose
Sideways.
one.
You have to choose. This is not in the research. 100%.
Exactly.
See, chat. 100%.
I
We've
don't know if
all
he's
just
still
left
here.
it on the sideways on the counter and been like, I'm
Right.
not doing that. You know
I
what?
don't know if
Let
he's
me
still
say
here.
this then. Not over or under. Bidet. Fuck
Bidet?
toilet paper.
So someone did say that too.
bidet.
But that is also way better than probably either, considering of how much better it is. Yeah. I would like to say hi. I don't know if he's still here. I hope he is. Hi to Kyle. Thanks for following. I appreciate you. I see you. I hope you're still hanging out there. If you are here, hit him. Let us know. What do you do? Over or under? I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, chat. Everyone, tell us over under. I see
For
you
sure.
you have hit your 55 followers.
I have.
When did you hit the 50?
I hit 50. I actually hit 50 on last stream. That pushed me
Last
over the
stream?
mark. It was
Oh,
it
hell
was
yeah.
there was a couple of followers that didn't pop up right away, but it was definitely by the end of the last stream it was all there, which is great.
So does that mean you're gonna hit your affiliate soon?
I hope. There is one issue. My stream schedule right now is to do one per week, and as an affiliate, if you know that, you have to have 7
to
days
do
in a
two.
month.
Yeah.
So let's go.
It's
So I
at
have
least
to.
two.
Yeah. So I have to figure out something. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get on an extra guest here throughout the week, or I will just do something. Maybe find out some sort of other thing. But we'll see. Whatever I will. I'll figure something out for sure.
Keep it as a chill hobby for now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not too worried about it. It's something I've thought about a bit, but we'll see. I have a couple ideas, and I mean, if maybe we want to do certain things on certain different days, and that's how we'll go.
Yeah, you can keep like short hour streams of just playing. Bring it back. Remember last stream you asked me what was the most embarrassing thing you did in front of your loved one?
Correct. Yes, I did.
I completely forgot this, and I remembered it the other day. I fell down the stairs the second or third time meeting Aaron. In front of Aaron. Like, I tumbled down concrete stairs in front of Aaron, and he had to come
head over
pick me
heels
up.
for him.
What?
I said you really fell head over heels for him.
I really did. It was at we met in college. I don't know if you know that. We met in college in a class together. And we were walking during break. It was one of our 3-hour lectures that we shared together. So they would have us like a 15-minute break, and we have a Starbucks on campus. So we would go get Starbucks, and that was like our first dates together. We're like going to get Starbucks during our lectures. And
Cute.
on the way down the concrete stairs to get Starbucks, I fell down the entire last like flight of the stairs. Like just tumbled, and he like runs down and like picks me up, and I'm just sitting there like, no, like I busted my knee and everything. Like it was like I fell, and he like picked me up and like carried me out of the stairwell, and I was just like thinking like this could be so romantic. Like I did it this trip.
You're right. Exactly. Like you're like fairy tale. I'm making my own.
I am a princess.
Exactly.
That's the most embarrassing.
Okay, I appreciate you going back to that because I think, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I think that's. I mean, I guess it's not like you did it on purpose for love, but it's something you have definitely happened and related to love, and is
having an almost complete stranger carrying me out of a stairwell because I fell down the stairs in front of him is embarrassing, no matter if there's a love interest or not. So.
Fair. Another question for you here. Do you ever feel like a child?
Oh, do you see the room I'm in? Do you see where I live? Yes, right. All the time. I live by that. I live by keeping my youth, even though I'm still young, by keeping like a younger youth. I didn't really have too much of a childhood growing up. So I kind of do it now, and Aaron's completely chill with it. He lets me sit and watch Disney movies for an entire day while I eat ice cream out of the container and just chilling. Like he does not care. Yeah, I know, but you can't do that as an adult. Apparently, I'm finding out. So
says who? I
Says
beg to
who?
differ.
The government.
The government.
Society.
We don't want the
Says I
government
have to get a
then.
job.
What current trend makes no sense to you?
The feud between millennials and Gen Z, as somebody who's in the between, who doesn't belong as a millennial but doesn't belong as a Gen Zer, why are we fighting? Why is the skinny jeans and side part and all this other dumb ageist stuff matter? I don't get it. What?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you seen the fights on TikTok? Did you see that one TikTok that a millennial made where she's like doing the Pledge of Allegiance but as a millennial?
I did not.
You
I
didn't?
feel.
Oh my God. Look it up after
What
this.
is
It
it?
is like, she goes, I am proud to be, she literally has her right hand over her heart and she goes, I am proud to be a millennial with my side part and skinny jeans. Like,
Oh
oh,
my.
it was so
Just
cringy.
stoking
And
the
I was sitting there
flames.
like, I don't get it. It's the trend right now to make fun of older or younger people and I don't understand it.
Right? Yeah. Like it doesn't. It's not exactly. Their.
Why is there
Yeah. I
so
don't know.
much
There's
attention to eyebrows?
to
Because,
eyebrows.
Lisa, eyebrows show you what you're feeling. Angry, sad. So you
Eyebrows.
got to make sure your eyebrows look good. You know what I mean? I feel like there is a trend with like making men and women like waxing and shaving their eyebrows more.
I thought she was talking about like my eyebrows, and I was like, "Mom, I'm on stream. You can text me
I
this."
do use my eyebrows a lot, I will say.
But I agree. I think I've seen like people who like have like drawn in eyebrows that like have like creations on the side of their head. And
Oh yeah,
it's definitely something that's
where they shave their eyebrows off, like the edge
or
of them,
yeah, like
and
that too.
then
Yeah, or exactly. Like there's so many different like trends of eyebrows and stuff. And yeah, like even unibrows. Unibrows are becoming a trend, like a
it's
fashion trend.
becoming a fashion trend, but it's also becoming a feminist statement where a lot of women who have naturally overgrown unibrows are like saying, I'm not going to trim them because that goes into your societal norms and I'm not going to pressure myself to change for you. So it's becoming both. Like it is a fashion beauty statement, but it's also at the same time becoming like this movement that women are doing. So it's kind of a little bit of both.
That part, if you want to do like in a sort of an activist movement, go for it. But I think
Yeah.
as far as a fashion trend,
Eyebrow.
I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
care.
Yeah, like yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like as a fashion trend, it's not something I'll be doing, but I appreciate it. Alyssa says hi to you, by the way. If you're still watching chat,
I am. I see
she's
you
not even
say.
here. She's not even here right now.
Oh,
So
she's
she's watched.
she's dedicated.
She is dedicated. She knew you're on here. Kyle, you are here. What's poppin', dude? Even you tweeze your eyebrows. Sounds good. See, that's why
Yeah, no
that's why
shame
me and
in
Kyle hang
tweezing
out.
or shaving your eyebrows. I shave my fiance's eyebrows, and I do his nails. You gotta live it up. What the heck? How
Actually,
am I gonna look good all the time and you gonna look like a homeless man? I don't understand. Like, what?
either
Why
we're
do
looking
I gotta
homeless
shave my eyebrows?
together,
You get to cover
and then there's Alyssa with
unkept.
that. Exactly. So, and I think with as far as well, what's called, I guess going into a little deeper is I think with Alyssa was the first person who we got pedicures together. Is that right? Is that feet? Is that what pedicure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's called, and so we ended up getting pedicures, and it took a while because I was like, don't touch my feet. I don't want anyone to touch my feet. That's gross. That's no. And
I mean,
then
I'm a woman. I don't like it, so I understand.
and then what's called, and then she's like, well, let's just like see what you think. Like, let's go and try and see what it's like.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. My
No.
feet were very smooth. I was like gliding across the house
They give you
like
like
my
that
feet were.
massage up your calf, and
Oh,
you're just like sitting there like, oh my God, this is
I'm just
great. You kind of
gonna
forget that you
fall
hate
asleep
when
here. Yeah.
people touching your feet. Yeah. You're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I
Totally.
forgot that I don't want anyone to touch my feet right now.
Yeah. And like the thing is like the poor ladies that had to deal with it at the beginning, but at the end, it was fantastic. It was great, lovely. It was super awesome and soft.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna poke at the question that got me a very very interesting question, or very very interesting answer on the last episode. I ended up doing the TikTok that ended up blowing up on mine. Just before we do that though, if you guys are interested in joining this conversation, put exclamation mark chat into the chat, And I believe Stream Elements will give you a whole link on how to join this conversation. We will be open to answering questions that you guys have for us on Discord if you'd like. We'd love for you guys to join.
Yes.
So yeah, if you wanna be a part of the conversation, we'd love to see you guys and get you guys to hang out. My question is, if you died today, what would you regret not doing? And I guess why?
I guess a short answer would be travel more, but because COVID kind of put that to a halt, I wanted to travel so much more.
Where would you travel?
But I've been trying to do things. I'm not a daredevil person. I don't want to go skydiving. Never. I don't like the ocean, so I hardly want to go scuba diving. Like I don't, if I can control my risk factor of dying, I like to do that. So I'm like, I don't really want to do anything that's that harmful. And I try to do everything. Like, I went to college. Did I finish? No. Do I care to finish? Also no. So that's not an answer. Because honestly, school's pointless, children. Don't go. Like, you don't need it. You want a profession?
This is not her stream. This is
I so I wouldn't say school. I found love, and I found love multiple times. So I wouldn't say love. I don't regret anybody I've been with, and I love being with Aaron. So that wouldn't be a question. I have tried. If you know me, I'm 23 years old. How many jobs, how many different fields, different careers do you think I've been in at the age of 23?
See, I have a kind of an insight though, because I've heard so many conversations on your stream of like jobs and past jobs. So I feel like this is lowballing because of how you're saying it now, but I feel like you have like at least 5, or you've gone through about 5.
I've gone through 8 different professions.
Okay.
I've been a fast food worker. I've been a jeweler. I've been a politician, like a canvassman. I was working with a congressman.
When you mean jeweler, you mean like...
No! Like an actual like, selling and making of jewelry.
Okay.
I did that for a few years. I worked with a politician. I worked in art. I worked in regular retail. I've worked in like a lingerie stores. So like I literally have done so much in my 23 years of living that I don't really think if I died now, I would probably die honestly content. I would be upset that I haven't had children and I haven't been married, I haven't traveled, but I wouldn't be upset that I didn't get to do or finish anything, because everything that I've wanted to do, I've done it. I've made it happen. I've just gone and done it. Yeah.
That's awesome, because I don't think there's many people, especially at the age you are, that can say I feel fulfilled, and like that's like, if I had to, obviously I don't want to, but if I had to go, then I would be content in a sense. And I mean, that's a scary thought to think at, you said 23, right? And so I think it's something that definitely I'm not comfortable with as a 24-year-old, but it's something that, because I think there's so much, it could. Let's hope not. But there's so many things that I would prefer to do before my time here is done, and at least leave back some sort of legacy before I do leave would be ideal for things like that. So I'm going to poke even further into this.
Go for it.
What is a fear that you'd like to conquer before you pass away? I can see your eyes spinning and thinking about the TikTok that I made. And
the amount of fears that I have so many different like fears. I'm afraid of the dark. I would like to stop being afraid of the dark. It is very inconvenient to be being afraid of the dark. And it's not even like I can't like walk into a room. Like sometimes when I'm driving and it's pitch black on a country road around me, I start like I feel like the darkness is like just creeping in on me, and like I can't see, like I can't predict what's going on in the darkness. It freaks me out. I'd really like to stop being afraid of the dark. It is a very big inconvenience in my adult life. But if we did something like more deep, I'd like to stop being afraid of not being enough, I guess. Like everything I do, I
That's a
feel
good
like I
one.
have to be the best. If
I
when I'm streaming, like I set up these unrealistic goals. Like I've only been streaming for 3 months. I have 1.3 um K followers and I'm affiliate and I'm halfway to being a partner already. And because I
awesome.
set this unrealistic goal in my head, and then now I'm like, I thought like, oh, I have to be good enough, I have to go better, I have to be bigger. But now I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm going too fast. I grew too big. I don't know how to keep up. Or like anything I do, I always feel like if I'm not doing the best, then I should stop doing it. And that's like a fear of mine is like if I'm not number one, then I'm nothing. And so I have to stop having that fear of being number
I,
one.
I can definitely relate because I think there's so many times when you're so, or like for me, I can speak for, obviously not for anyone else, is I'm so
Hmm.
worried that if I'm not like the best, or if I'm not doing the best, or if I've hit a point and then peaked, then what's next? So a good
Yeah.
example of this in this past week was that TikTok that blew up, the one about the skydiving. There was such a high for like hitting that, but then I realized, okay,
Where do you go?
how do I engage and how do I keep this going? And I did not post to TikTok for like 5 days, which is bizarre because I always post, like I was at the point where I was posting a TikTok every 1 to 2 days.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that's exactly healthy either, but I believe like I was so creatively blocked by not having, or just kind of hitting that kind of milestone of, okay, I had one that went viral, but could I do it again? I don't know.
Yeah.
And that
Which
comes
is
out in a lot of different ways.
which is ridiculous to think as a person, and I understand your fear because TikToks, people go viral for anything. I have a video that's reached almost 1 million people, and it's like of somebody else's sound, and it has nothing to do with my comedic abilities or anything. It's literally a throwaway video I posted at 3 in the morning that just
Mm-hmm.
went viral as well. And so TikToks, that just happens. Your best videos or your worst videos will go viral. And but I feel the same way. When you hit like a certain peak, like every time I get rated by somebody bigger, like I'll get rated by a smaller and then it goes bigger and bigger and bigger and my past raid was by a partner of Twitch. I don't know where to go from there. I freak out because I'm like, I get rated by somebody who has a couple hundred people in my chat, and then I'm like, I'm not good enough for these people. Why did they raid me? Like I'm not, or I wasted my raid. Like I wasted the chance to engage people because I was too busy, freaking out that I didn't even say hi to everyone. Like instead of being like, thank you guys for being here, I just froze and just was like, hi. So and it's a fear
Yeah.
and that's what I would like to conquer is the fear of feeling like I have to be the best or I can't do it at all. And it's from my childhood. My brother and I are 2 years apart, so we were constantly
Competing.
head to head with each other in school and sports. We were in the same sport. We played baseball together in like little leagues and my dad was the coach, so like we were constantly
Mm.
always head to head. And I even made, oh my god, I even made my brother drop out of high school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I was a mentioned nice popular kid in high school. The teachers knew who I was. I got almost straight A's. I did extracurriculars, I did sports. My brother joined and he was like the loner stoner kid who like didn't want anything to do with anything. And my teachers would go, "Oh, you're Nicole's brother, right?" And he just every time he'd be like, "Fuck," because anytime he did bad, my teachers would say, "Nicole did way better when she was in my class. What's going on here?" So he ended up
That's so
dropping
terrible.
out, and he ended up finishing. He got his GED, but he dropped out because of how competitive my family is with each other. So that's where I inherited it from, and that's why I would like to like just fucking stop feeling like I have to be the best at what I do.
Do you two still talk a lot? You and your brother?
We live on the other side of the country from each other, so we don't talk often, but we never resented each other for it. We always bonded over the fact that we felt like we had to be better than each other. Um, So we never felt any resentment towards each other regarding that. And we congratulate each other even now. He congratulates me on my success and I congratulate on his. And he's only
That's good.
19, so like it's not like he has much that he has to gain off of.
Yeah. I there was never really so much competition between my sister and I because there was a 6 years difference. So I never had that, but I definitely could understand it in a sense because of just hearing kind of the stories from my family. So my mom, who's in chat, is a twin sister.
Hi, Mom.
Has a twin sister, and her siblings, who are younger siblings, are two twin brothers. So she's a set of two twins.
God, you might have twins when you have kids. God,
my girlfriend is also the same.
Run.
She is also the same. She damn well knows that there's a very high chance that we will that we're the twin gene. Unfortunately, we're probably having quadruplets. Yeah, she does want 7. So I mean, if she gets them all in one go, then maybe she will get them. But that's probably the only way she is getting them. But I guess this kind of leads me to my next. Yes.
Like you're getting 2 and that's it.
Yeah. Maybe 3 if we don't get boy girl. Maybe.
Just trap him. Say twins, right? Your first pregnancy, twins, and then you're like, but I really want a 3rd, like I really do, and then quadruplets. Trap him.
Leading into the kind of the whole family talk, who is your favorite family member? I love this question because it's the look on people's faces. They're like, what?
So my favorite family member is not my family member. It's actually probably Aaron or Aaron's mom. I moved across country at 18 for a reason. I didn't talk to my family for 2 to 3 years after I moved across the country from them. And then now that I am starting to talk to them, it's still very strained. My siblings, not so much, but we also have our own traumas that we're dealing with, so we also don't really communicate with each other. So I'm not close to any of my family at all. So I would pick a non-family family member.
I've seen you're definitely close with Aaron's mom. I've seen how she interacts and comes into your stream, goes into his stream, and literally talks to you in his stream, which is I found kind of funny the other day. As far as that, if you're open to sharing, if you're not, that's okay.
Yeah. No, I don't mind.
What pushed you to move away from everything? Like, what was kind of like?
Yeah, so both of my parents are drug and alcohol addicts, and they both struggle with it to this day. They're both my dad not so much drugs, but is an alcoholic, and my mom is still drugs and alcohol. So I grew up with that in my household. My dad, because of it, hardly worked. He was a self-employed constructor, but because of his drug addiction, he hardly worked. There was a point when I was 12 and my brother was 10, I think. No, what age are you in freshman year of high school? 13, 14?
I'm in Canada. We don't use those terms.
Fuck. Okay, I think it's
grade 9.
Year.
Whatever grade it would be.
Yeah.
My mom's going to know this. If she's still watching, she's going to definitely know what it is, and I'm pretty sure she is. So whatever grade 9 would be.
I think it's 13 or 14. But when I was 13 or 14, I have an older sister as well, but she is only a half sibling, so she did not live with us. Thank you for being vulnerable. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I don't mind talking about it because a lot of the times I always help people when they see that, like, even if you have such a shit life in the beginning, you can make it better. So when I was about 13 or 14, my sister was already like 17. She didn't live with us. She hadn't lived with us in years. She didn't talk to us for years. At the time, you're resentful because you're a kid. You don't realize it. But as I grew older, I realized it was because she was also dealing with my dad being an addict, which was her real dad. And she had an opportunity to live out of that home and live with her real mom. So she chose her real mom, which I completely understand now. But at the time, I felt as if she abandoned us, because in a way she did. Because when I was 13, my mom ended up in the hospital. I don't know why. I think something health related. It wasn't because of her addiction. It was just health related. But my dad used
Mm-hmm.
that as an opportunity to go haywire, and he ended up overdosing and was on like the side of a highway somewhere. And so I ended up staying and living with a friend from high school for 3 months, and I had no idea where my brother was
Yeah,
because that was before
that's
phones. So my brother was living with another friend, and I was living with my friend, and I had no idea where he was. My mom called me from the hospital, and she's like, "Where is your brother?" And I was like, "Don't know." Like, because he went to middle school, I went to high school. We lived in a town that my high school was 30 minutes away, and his middle school was 30 minutes away in the opposite direction. So we didn't get on a
mm,
bus together. We didn't walk home. We literally just didn't see each other for 3 months. And thankfully, I had an amazing friend at the time who unfortunately I don't speak to that much anymore, but her mom took me under her wing. She gave me lunch money. She helped me go to homecoming. She did all those things. But that is kind of like the intro to how it was. And then on top of the drugs and alcohol, because your parent does those things, they're never there um, to parent you. They don't,
mm.
and when they are there to parent you, they don't always make the best judgments. So there was a lot of times where I was physically or emotionally abused trying to protect my little brother. So I was, I remember one time I was locked outside of the house. I think I was 14 or 15. We used to have bars on our windows because we lived in the hood. I don't know what to tell you. So we had bars on our windows, so you couldn't open a window from the outside. You had to kick the bars off from the inside of the house to get out. So I was 14 or 15, and I had gotten into an argument with my parents over the fact that they were failing as parents. And so they threw me out of the house, and I had to spend the night on our porch, essentially. Just like no phone, no communication, just sleep your ass on the porch and shut the fuck up. So, and I dealt with it. I carried it with me. I didn't want to bring the shame, or I also was threatened a lot by my parents. Like, if you ever tell anyone, you'll lose your brother. And I did have such a strong bond with my brother, even though we were
Mm-hmm.
competitively always against each other, that I didn't want to lose him. So I just kind of buried that burden and just didn't tell anyone. And I got a job at 15 to help support the groceries and the bills and stuff, because so I was a full-time student, and I did a sport, and I had a job. So by the time I turned 18, I was so resentful of my family, because even my relatives failed. They knew this was happening in the house. They saw, the bruises or the yelling or the discipline. They just turned a blind eye. Not my house, not my problem. So by the time I was 18, I kind of looked at my brother and I was like, you need to be strong. You need to figure it out, but I have to go. So I packed up 4 suitcases and shipped a couple boxes to a friend's house, the state I was moving to, and I just left. No job, no money, no car. I just left. And now I'm here.
That's and like it looks like you've, I don't know, what's the best word for this? You're succeeding in that sense, because
Yes.
that's something. When I look at you, I wouldn't see a person who struggled a lot
Yeah.
in childhood. In a sense, I see someone who's obviously really pushing and really active, and I agree. And I think you, with what my mom put in the chat, is you are really helping people from saying things like that story, and it's a story that not everyone's really comfortable sharing. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing that,
No
because
problem.
that's very.
I always tell it, because
It's
the thing I find the most when I talk to young people is that they hate their parents. They over something so minute. Well, when I was growing up, my dad remarried and I didn't really like my stepmom. No, she didn't hurt me or anything, but I just didn't like her. Or,
mhm,
I didn't get to go to the college I wanted to because my parents didn't save up enough money, so I had to get a job. And then they resent their parents for that. And
mhm,
so I like to tell this story to be like, if I can forgive and still love and find love in my family and my parents for what they put me through, why are you wasting all of this time over something so minor?
mhm,
So stupid in a way that, like, I wish my only problem growing up was my parents didn't have money for me to go to college. I wish my problem was that my dad remarried into a woman that I didn't particularly care for. So I tell this story to show people that no matter how bad your family life is, you don't want to lose out on the opportunity of at least knowing who your family is. Because at the time
Sure.
when I was so angry at 18, I could have gotten the phone call that my parents were dead and I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have given a shit. I would have been like, good, I'm better off. But now, if I got that phone call, even if I wasn't trying to contact them, I would be hurt because I didn't get that chance to at least forgive my parents for my own selfish reasons and try to get some sort of love. Because when you lose somebody, even if they're not as close to you, you always have that thought in your brain of, did I try everything I could have to have a relationship to love them, even if they don't love me in return, even if I'm not reciprocated? I don't want anybody to have that regret of, I didn't at least try. So that's why I tell my life story to anyone that's willing to listen, almost, because I want them to know you can get past whatever grudge you hold against your parents, and if you can't, at least try to forgive for yourself.
Yeah. I There's not many times I'm less speechless, but definitely after that story, because I it was something that I didn't see coming. It's not. We've you and I have had probably 2 or 3 conversations out of stream, and I think
Mm-hmm.
the obviously the conversations are pretty or different context, usually about Twitch and things like that. But
You
I
wanted to get deep.
yeah
I told
yeah
you to back
yeah
off.
yeah.
I warned
You dug
you. You tried to
you dug the
warn
hole
me.
6 feet deeper.
I'm the therapist here. I'm the captain now.
Exactly. Look at me.
Look at
Um,
me.
I agree though. Is I think there is so many times where kids have fights with parents for things that
Mm-hmm.
are kind of minute and not putting in perspective. And I obviously don't want to take away from anyone's kind of thing because everyone takes things differently.
Yes.
But I obviously don't want to play the whole one up game because that's very dumb game and obviously
No,
and
there
no
is
one's gonna
no
win
one
in
up
a
game.
situation like this and like this
Yeah.
and that's the thing is
But
there's
there is no one up game.
there's no win.
There's never a one up game on a
Totally.
childhood. There are kids who had
Exactly.
it way worse than I did. Way
Yeah.
worse. And they're still where I am in my life or better than I am. So it's never, and that's what I try to stress to people too when I tell them these things is I say, I'm not trying to
Of
tell you
course.
this to tell you that your life wasn't hard, because everybody's life as a kid is hard when they go through anything. I'm just trying to let you know that don't let this be the hill you die on of not forgiving your parents. Because
Hmm.
parents tell you this all the time. They didn't get a book on how to raise a child. They didn't also get a book on how to live their own life. Like, parents, we see
It's true.
parents as heroes and as superiors and as people who can do no wrong, when in reality, parents can do just as much wrong as we can. So if you do something stupid that you regret in a few years, so can your parents. So don't hold them to the faults that they did in their past, especially when they're trying to come to you to fix it.
Totally. And I think that's even bigger too. Is if you have a family member who maybe you had an issue with, and they came back to you and was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, like I want to build a relationship." That's huge because it's not always easy coming back with kind of the tail between the legs and be like, "Hey, like I
Yeah.
want to make this work." And it's in my experience, it's better off for both parties when when both parties come together and decide that they want to build the relationship
Together,
in a
yeah.
sense. Yeah, exactly. Together, mutually.
And
And
sometimes that is distance for a while and then you come together, but
totally.
also sometimes you will never get that apology. Unfortunately, like I said, my parents were both under the influence, so a lot of my childhood they don't even remember. So when I came to my mom the first time to say, I want your apology, I want to move past this, she knew that she had done me wrong as a parent. But when I tried to explain, don't you remember doing this, this, and this, she couldn't remember. So she couldn't apologize for something that she didn't remember doing. So I never got an apology for that. And I probably never will. So, and some people won't get an apology because sometimes your parents will still think they did you right, even when it wasn't, and they don't
Hmm.
realize the trauma they caused you. So they will never apologize to you, and you still have to be okay with that. You're never going to get an apology. You have to forgive for yourself, not for them. If
Totally.
I held this grudge against my parents, where would that put me? Like, where I already have enough therapy I have to go to. I don't need to go to therapy too because I can't trust people anymore. So there's no point in holding these grudges against people unless you're willing to, again, to die on that hill. If you're willing to say, I don't want to forgive this person for what they've done for me to me, that's fine. That's on you. But think about this in a few years. Are you going to be okay with receiving that phone call that that person has passed and that you're not going to feel affected by it in any way?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to.
I've
I'm
left you
trying to think of.
speechless.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have. I think there's
I do
so
that to my
many.
therapist too. It's okay.
Yeah.
Usually my
Oh boy.
therapists, they see me come in and they're like, what's wrong with her? Like,
Mhm.
what? She got in a car crash? And then I start breaking it down. And they're like, Jesus Christ. Like,
The
wow,
tire
that's a
flew
lot to
off and it
unload.
hit another person. Like
They're like, how did you
the
leave this office smiling still? And I'm like, I don't know.
that's just me.
That's just me.
I think with how you take things is definitely in a positive light because you
Mhm.
definitely could take it and put it into a sense of woe is me. And I think we talked
Mhm.
about this a little bit last time because I remember that quote coming up again. So I think not taking that kind of bad side and from what I'm seeing you and how you how you talk about the story and how you live your life, at least on Twitch, from what I've seen, is you're more kind of like it's not a feel bad for me because there is definitely people that kind of push that side of it, which I mean, hey, everyone deals with trauma differently, so maybe
Yeah.
that's their way of getting it off their chest. But I think you're someone who's the only reason it was even brought up is because I was poking, which is part of this whole stream and why this is even a thing. And so I'm glad you felt comfortable to be able to open up and show that.
Everybody in my
But I think
personal life knows, coworkers and all. Anytime a coworker's like, oh, how's your parents? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, I don't know, probably smoking some coke. I don't fucking know. And they're like, oh, wait, what? And I'm like, you asked. I told you I don't know. You kept pushing, so I told you.
and
Knee
so I
deep
think
in some drugs. I don't know.
from what I see though is I think you have a I think the biggest reason from what I'm gathering is that you have such a good support system now too with Aaron and his family and kind of that background, which is so awesome. And I'm glad you get something like that because that's to have someone in your corner is means a difference for a lot of people. And I think
It
that's
does.
also showing how you can kind of be yourself in a sense, and even to a grander scheme of being yourself on a Twitch stream, making streams
Remember, kids,
twice a week.
trauma
And
brings character. So you'll be fine.
What's going
But no, I did.
You
I
and your
did. And
TOS safety things, man.
but that is really important what you said is needing a support system, because a lot of the times when you're going through something, especially when you're actively going through it, it's happening in real life, you start to blame yourself. Like as a 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old, I started thinking it was my fault. Oh, well, maybe if I did just do the dishes, I wouldn't have gotten pulled by my hair to my room. Maybe if I just listened better, I wouldn't. Maybe if I was a better kid, I wouldn't. When in reality, nothing I could have done would have changed the outcome of what happened. And having somebody in your corner to say, this is not your fault. Look what you're doing. You are such a good person. You are
Mhm.
trying everything you can. This is not your fault, is needed. Because when you're actively going through that, so if you ever see anybody in a situation that they're coming to you and they're saying, this is my fault, I'm the cause of all this pain to myself or to this other person, you have to tell them that no, even if you could have done something to make the situation better, it's still not your fault. You're still not to blame for what happened to you.
And I think looking at, and this is going back to your kind of stream, but having that support system, and I really saw it when you did the hot sauce and the look in your eyes, and the first thing you did was look at Aaron for like, and that's how I knew like that's your person, like that's your go-to person. If you're in trouble, that's the person you look to, and it's good because you definitely comfortable. The only downside is that he was laughing at you, but it was one of those things is you went to that fight or flight kind of moment, and what you did is you literally like
Always.
snapped and looked him dead in the eyes, and it's good because like he was there. And I
Yeah.
think he stayed there both for the content, but also for the fact of he also wanted to see what was happening and how you were and have your back in a sense. However,
He
there's
kind of
not much you
whispered
could
to me
do
a
when you're
couple
pretty
times of
inside.
like, "You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
You're okay." He kept whispering, "You're
yeah.
okay," and I don't think you could hear it over the stream, but he kept just being like, "You got it.
There
You're
was so much going
okay."
on. Looking back at
Yeah.
VODs, you can definitely hear it because because when I went back and looked at all the things for it, you could definitely hear he's saying you're okay, it's okay, like you're just rat it
You got
out, like
this.
you'll be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and
You wanted to do this.
yeah, yeah. But I think
That was
he,
his biggest thing.
which
You
is
wanted to do this.
yeah, which I mean, he could have just been like, "Oh, sucks to suck," like gave me like and just walked off. Like yes, he did give you a little bit of pokes and prods, but like, what boyfriend wouldn't? In a sense.
True.
Um, but I think so with everything kind of with a very stressful upbringing. How do you decompress,
Mm.
and what helps you decompress?
Doing nothing. I'm gonna
Okay,
be honest.
describe
Doing the
nothing.
most sublime. So scrolling through TikTok, reading a book, watching TV, just like something that my brain isn't here, but it's here. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm here, I'm focused in on a task, but I don't have to be. Like I can just zone out and like stare at the wall while I'm watching a movie and not care. That really, and I've learned from a lot of people who also have gone through similar experiences with me that that's really what people like to do is just literally just zone out. Like people who have gone through any sort of issues have just like they just like to have a time to just decompress and zone out, which is what Aaron is great for. He doesn't push me to try to get up, do something. He really is
That's
just like,
awesome.
you
Yeah.
want to lay in bed? All right, you do you. And just like walks away. Like, you need me, call me. I'll be over here. So
Yeah.
it is nice to, that's just what I like to do. I don't know if it's healthy, but it
I think
works.
it's
So
necessary though. In some
yeah.
senses, obviously it's not. I don't think it's like great to do it like all the time, but definitely like to have a day, a week that you can just be like, I'm gonna do absolutely nothing. I'm not gonna get out of my pajamas. I'm just
Once a
gonna stay in
week.
bed. Yeah, like I think that's fair. Like I
Every
think that's
Wednesday, I spend half the day doing absolutely nothing. So don't ask me for anything on
sounds good.
Wednesdays.
See, after that stream, that'll probably be me. See, the Tuesday stream, like everything builds up, and I do all the planning and everything for the stream, and then it's all built around the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether we do the promoting or things like that, and then as soon as the stream hits and it's over with, I can kind of decompress, and that's or at least that's my plan for now. And last week I did not do that. I definitely pushed myself a little too hard on last week,
That's okay.
and
We all do
felt it
that
the next
sometimes.
day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Wednesday I literally crashed and it was like just totally like a mess on the Wednesday after, and I was supposed to stream the next day, and I found out pretty quickly that that's not the healthiest way to do it. Starting off is doing it right off the bat. It's probably better to take some time and slowly ease into it and see how it goes and how things are going and in that kind of sense. Figure out me and if I do like this and if this is going to be if this is a hobby, why push myself to the point where I don't want it to be fun anymore.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's
When
good.
which is what it always should be in the beginning. Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. And I think once you get into your schedule and your rhythm, I think it will help your stream grow as well and get you more people on to have more production and more advertisement and stuff like that. And mine too, which again, we're both in that same situation where we're both like I see where this could go and I see where this is going, but do I want it to be this big?
Hmm.
Which,
Yeah,
by the
and
way,
that's it.
I brought face paint for Ham and Cheddar's stream.
Wow.
I'm
That's Thursday, right?
excited. Yeah,
That's
Thursday
exciting.
at
Very
I think
exciting.
like 8 or something. I don't know.
Are
So
you are
my
you going to be
Thursday
streaming that
stream
day
will
too?
probably not be. I don't know. I probably won't
Uh,
stream on Thursday. It depends on how long I'm on his stream. If I'm on his stream for uh like 2 hours, then I'll probably hop on mine until like midnight or so. But if it goes till midnight, then I won't have the energy to stream.
And you're also streaming today, which is pretty
Yes.
impressive. And I've realized this is going to become very interesting with me and how I'm going to do this kind of layout
Hmm.
because I want to do it on Tuesdays. And I've found that bouncing around the time is probably going to be the most easiest. But just to be able to mend with other people.
Hmm.
However, I realize that there's a lot of people who still like to stream after the stream. And if I'm tired after doing this, guaranteed you're gonna be even more tired doing your stream than that. So take care of yourself tonight.
Yep.
Go easy on it tonight.
Nah, I have been awake since 8 a.m. and then I
Oh
went
my
and
goodness.
drank an entire pitcher of mimosas. That's why my face is still a little red. I definitely have that
That's how we got
Brun
so
glow.
deep.
That's how we got so deep. No. But and then I came onto here and now I'm gonna get off, spend probably, 2 hours doing nothing, and then immediately get it ready to stream. I did a 12-hour stream and I had enough energy for the entire thing. I am
I
I
cannot believe
am
that.
literally all right, respect my parents on this quote, but I'm literally a crackhead on energy.
I
You know what I
I
mean?
was
Like
so
I just
I
go.
was right. I was so shocked. Like the day that you did your 12-hour stream, I was so shocked that I came back and you were still streaming. I thought for sure you were done. Thought 100% I was coming back, and you're like, yeah, I'm so sorry.
No.
Like I got too tired. Blah blah. Because I was like, it's hard. Like it's really hard, and it's not something like people are like 12 hours. Like well, like not even 24 hours. But 12 hours is hard. Like 4 hours are hard. Like you don't even have to go to 12 hours. It gets really hard to make that much content.
It gets
And I will say
tasking.
for your 12 hours, and I wasn't there for every single minute of it because I worked, and that's probably the only reason I
Yes.
wasn't there because Maud Brendan would have been there. Um, but I think is you kept it interesting from what I've heard from start to finish. There was no points where it
Yeah.
really was dry, and
No.
I don't know what the average viewership was on that, but I'm sure it was probably in
It's
the
25
20. Really, yeah. So that no, doesn't surprise me at all because I
for
think
the
you
entire 12
kept.
hours.
That's impressive. Like that's really
I
really impressive
maxed at
because
60 at one point.
yeah.
I was at 60.
Yeah, and that's because yeah, was that at the hot thing or was that when was that? Do you know when it hit
It was like
approximately?
midday. It was like somewhere between me painting Bob Ross and playing Mech Warrior is when I was
Okay,
hitting that. So that
yeah, you
was
definitely
really,
jumped
that's
up
when I
during
was
mid
really
core.
thinking like maybe I should move my stream earlier because it was like 5 p.m. my time and I was really hitting like a
Yeah,
good like 50 people and I was like, should I stream earlier? I was like, is this
yeah,
where it is at? Is this the audience that is this what you guys like? But then it slowly started to trickle back down. It was
yeah.
weird. I
It's
didn't expect any outreach, really. I was like, I'm just gonna stream for 12 hours. It's just gonna be like an experiment. But I kept consistently hitting about 20 viewers the entire 12 hours.
that's impressive too, especially for 12 hours to hold on to 25 viewers is really impressive because and keep people around, and that's like the
Mm,
biggest thing is because I think so many people struggle with keeping people around and keeping interesting and keeping relevance the word, but in that sense is kind of keeping
yeah.
that relevancy to people to want to watch and come back. I'm gonna bring it back to a little bit deeper, so we're gonna dig this hole, keep going on
Okay,
this hole,
okay.
even though it's 6 feet deep already.
I'm ready.
When was the last time that you immediately regretted something that you said?
Ugh, Aaron and I had an argument not I don't know, probably a couple months ago. And I blame it on my trauma, but I shouldn't because as a person who's growing in therapy, you're not supposed to blame your actions on your past. So I really shouldn't say it, but I have a really bad habit. Well, like you mentioned the Hulk. That is because of my past that I get so scared when I confront confrontation if it's like something work related, I'm usually fine. I blow up a little bit where I'm like, listen, you need to respect me and listen to me because I'm telling you what to do, which
Mm-hmm.
is fine in that sense because I keep it professional. But in my own personal life, if you ever start to yell at me um, about anything, about you're not good and you're not doing this right or da da da, if I feel blame on myself, I like shut down. Like I just like freak out. Like my brain just goes into like fight or flight mode and I choose fight. So I
Mm-hmm.
start just attacking whoever it is. Like I remember one time I tell the story every time someone's like, "Can you explain why?" I'm a big storyteller. So that's how I get my point across or my emotions. One time my mom and I were fighting. I was like 16 and she was yelling at me and she goes she said something along the lines of I didn't have kids for them to turn out this way. And I remember turning around, and my mom, unfortunately, had a hard time getting pregnant and conceiving a child. And I was so defensive in a fight mode that I turned and looked my mom dead in the eye and I said, then maybe that was the universe way of telling you that you don't deserve kids. Because I just shut anything that she had with her past pregnancy failures, I just threw it in her face. And that's what I do when I feel cornered and I feel attacked, even if you don't mean to. Aaron
So
didn't say
so
or
you're the
do
fight.
anything. I fight, and I fight
Yeah.
hard. I go for it. And if I know you, it gets worse. If I personally know anything about you, I will attack that little thing that you feel insecure about, and I will hit you with it in an argument just to get you away from me. And I don't mean to do it. So I try
Hmm.
to tell people, hey, if I get mad, I'm walking away. I'm walking away because I don't want to say anything to hurt you. But in that instance, I didn't walk away. And I said something, and the second it left my mouth, I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, I just immediately was like, no. Yeah, I was immediately like, I told you to stop. Like, and that's what I said to him the second it came out. I was like, I told you I had to walk away. I told you I had to, but I didn't. I kept the conversation going.
Hmm.
And then I remember being like, I don't know how to make this better. Like, my bad. Like, and he understands it, so he didn't take anything to heart. But that was the last time that I was like, you idiot. Like, why do you say these things? So
Yeah, it's so hard.
that's it.
It's hard because obviously you're stuck in a weird place of where you don't want to offend anyone, but when you're so like set off.
Cornered. Yeah.
Yeah, cornered. I think would be the best probably word for it. Yeah, is when you're cornered is you turn on that fight or flight, and it sounds like, yeah, you're the fighter type. I'm the
Yeah.
total opposite, where I'm the flight type of thing, and I'm the total. I'd rather move away from a situation and deal with it later than deal with it like
I
swinging.
grew up having to be in the fight or not. So since my sister's 6 years older than I, she took all the Brett when my brother and I were younger. She took all the yelling and all the discipline. Then when she left, it fell onto me or my brother. So instead of, I kind of sheltered him. When my parents would come brawling in, I would, stand in front of my brother and be like, yell at me, focus on me. I'm here, I'm here. And like I would tell my brother to
Mhm.
go to his room and shut his door. So I always would fight to keep the attention on me. But because of that, I would always get cornered because then I would be cornered in alone, being zoned in on. So then now, anytime there was arguing or yelling in any situation, even like yelling that wasn't even directed towards me, like I was staying at a friend's house and their parents were yelling, I would start to like freak out and like get ready, like I had to fight. Like I would literally clench my fists and be like, I gotta get ready to, I gotta go, I gotta fight. And so I got past that where I can hear yelling now and kind of just be like, I'm all right. But if I'm involved, excuse me, if I'm involved in the fight, I just my guard goes up and I don't care who you are. I don't see you as the person I love anymore. You're just a person that I have to destroy. Like I have to hurt you before you can hurt me because I'm cornered in this room. So I have learned to step back and get away from that and be like, "Hey, give me 10 minutes and then we can finish this conversation when I'm not at risk of telling you how much of a piece of shit you are." So, give me 10 and we'll come back.
I think that's a big, definitely step in the right direction of how you can do it. I do have a question for you related to that,
Yeah.
in a sense, because I'm looking at myself, who's someone who, like I said, is a flight person, and as someone as a fight person, I kind of an interesting poking and seeing like. So one of the things that happens with me, and this is how I know I'm a flight person, is in my job I have to directly communicate with customers who are being belligerent, and when I do so, I've learned how to do it and stuff like that, and ignore certain like things that are telling me to flee, because I can't, as the
This is
position
my
I'm
job.
in. Exactly. So my question to you is, I always get these like a tingly like woozy feeling in my knees whenever I do it, for like the fall the when it hits, and then the probably like the 5 minutes after. Do you ever get that feeling when you're in that fight mode,
I don't
or like
get
something
like
like that?
queasy. Yeah, I don't feel any of the like nervousness, but I can feel my face will heat up and I will like I'll feel like I have like tunnel vision where there's nothing around me anymore. There's no longer people are there. There's no people. It's just me and whoever that I'm targeted in on. Whoever is the cause of me feeling cornered. I'll notice that I'll do that. And I don't do it at work often, but on the off chances that I'll start to get that feeling, I've noticed that I would just focus in on that one coworker or that one phone conversation, and I would really have to think about what I was saying. Like I really had to like really think about so hard about what my next words were about to be, even when if it was
Mhm.
simply like, I'm sorry, I can't do that, could easily turn into, I don't know who you think you are, but this is not going to happen on my time. Like it easily could turn
Yeah.
into that. So I would have to like strain. I felt like I was straining myself, which is why my face would get red, because I would really be like, I'm sorry that you think that way.
You gritting
But
through
I'm
your
about
teeth as
to
you're on the phone.
fucking, yeah. I'm about to
Right.
lose my shit.
So we're gonna take a quick little break here. We're gonna be right back. Yeah, so let's go. So stay tuned. Hang out for a bit here. If you guys are interested in joining the chat, press the exclamation chat, and it will show you how to do that. We will be right back.
Follow.
Please hang tight. Yeah, I mean, sure, that'd be great.
No, follow. Follow.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Welcome to the chat. I see that hamster point.
Hamster point. Yes, there they are. Hello, guys.
Aaron, I see you.
It's my chat. They are here. My chat has arrived.
If you haven't been hanging out, welcome. If you guys would like to talk, if you put exclamation mark chat, we would love to hear your input. If you have questions for me or Brun, it can be pretty much anything. Press exclamation mark chat, and we'd love to have you in the Discord, because I think it'd be really funny to have some questions, especially from people that are in your chat. I think that'd be interesting as well to have questions and things like that.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. You can be. I think it'd make it definitely interesting, this stream for sure. What do you think? That is a great question. Why did you throw your coat on the kitchen floor pre-interview?
Because I came home so tipsy. I literally came home. Did you see the Instagram post I did?
It's talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Are you talking about the...
Where I'm calling my cat Stinky Wee, and I'm like walking. I was just like, I literally made a post where I was just like, Stinky Wee. And like, my eyes were half shut. I was so zooted. I was not all right.
Now we have to show it now.
Go ahead. I literally went to lay down when I got home, because I was like, if I don't sober up, this is gonna be bad.
We have the 1 p.m. and I'm tipsy first.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much I had to drink until I was here on my way home, and then I realized I am calling my cat Stinkawayness and walking around.
I hate myself.
I'm tipsy. I'm not drunk. I'm buzzed. I'm having a good time. There's my cat. Say hi, Pandy. Stinkawayness.
Stinkawayness?
Oh, I did the hand thing.
Be ready for an interview in an hour.
I was not ready to be on here an hour.
So Erin, that's what she was doing pre-interview.
Yes, that's what I was doing pre-interview. And then I laid down for 30 minutes, and I was like, get it together, Nicole. I was like, get it together. You gotta get it together.
Why buy Tesla? Metallic Man.
Oh.
This is the first time I've ever seen this new friend in here. Welcome. Why buy Tesla?
Yeah.
That's a great question, actually, and I think people
Are you a fake
Tesla,
fan?
Heck yeah. I'm not a
You
fake
just have
fan
the hat?
at all. No. I actually really like Tesla. I'm a big fan of Tesla. However, I don't really think it's a great idea for people to ditch their car and get a Tesla. I think that's kind of against the whole point, in my opinion. I mean, however,
It's a luxury car.
Not even that so much.
It's like that second car.
Is the fact of it's supposed to be eco-friendly, but if you're checking out a car to get a new one, that's not really that eco-friendly. So that's the kind of part of it. I love the self-driving thing. I love that there's so many features, and so I'm a child, let's be honest, and that's a child's car essentially. And so I think
it is.
With that sense, it would be so fun to have a car that would make me feel like a child, I guess would be the best way to put it. Because
I also feel like it's definitely a environment, a climate car, because I've heard so many horror stories about people who have a Tesla during the winter, and they like their car, the door's frozen and they can't get their doorknob because it's not working, and it's not, you know, charging your car, and it's 20 degrees out isn't really like a good idea. And so I feel like it's definitely more like it's a California car. I mean,
It is.
it's more of a, I think it's like you said, like it's a, if you have the funds to get a second car, get the Tesla and then use your first car, and then use
Mm-hmm.
that first car for you know, winter driving, or use your Tesla more often, but it's still, you know, you still have your first car that you use. I feel like that's a good Tesla purchase. Or if you're in
Yeah.
California, then just buy a fucking Tesla.
That's a great question, Talk Man. Thank you. Um, yeah, no, I agree. I think there's so many. I don't know. I'm not a fake fan for sure. That's definitely not it. But it's more or less manifesting. I have
Mm.
a friend at work who um or sorry, a coworker at work. Her husband just bought a Tesla, and him and I have like talked over the years and been buddies for a couple of years, and he's pushing me to do it. And he's like, there's so many rebates and stuff like that. But I
How
totally
much
agree
are
with you. I
they?
think depends which one you get, but I think the lowest base model is like
Yeah.
30K, about maybe a
Okay.
little bit less than that.
So it's
The
a new car.
Yeah,
Just a
it's not
normal new car.
it's not terribly not the
No.
worst. I definitely have my interest on like the SUV sized one, the one
Mm.
that's a little bit bigger. Um, so that would be kind of what I do. That's like that base model's around like 100K. So that's a little bit of that, but I more or less this is my way of manifesting in a sense of seeing the logo and like and kind of like l- thinking about it, and one of the things that
A
is
goal.
definitely on the totally definitely a goal, and that's kind of
Yeah.
the idea of it would be to get one eventually, but it's not something that I need to buy tomorrow or in any
Yeah.
sense like that, but it'd be something that
And
definitely would
it's
be like
definitely,
that's
I
accomplishment.
mean, it's as if you wearing a Tesla hat is the same as, you know, me wearing sports merchandise. It's, you know, I not on the team, but I love the team, or I would love to
Hmm.
meet the team or watch the team. So I don't think you have to like be such a hardcore Tesla person where you're like, oh, I own like $40,000 in stocks and I own a Tesla. And it's like, no, I like the brand, and one day I'd like to own a Tesla, or I do own a Tesla.
Exactly.
But I
Going
never see
going
people wear Tesla merch, which is, that's why that was a good question, because I never see, you were
Yeah.
the first person I've ever seen wear a Tesla hat, like who doesn't already own a Tesla.
Yeah, this is actually thanks to my sister, because
Oh,
she got it for my birthday, so that was part of it. And fun fact,
she
thanks
knew.
to Amazon, they actually threw in a um, what are the cup holder little like things that
Oh,
go
like
inside,
a
and they're super
coaster.
awesome. Yeah, they're like
Coaster?
coasters that went but they're like they go for they're inside they're supposed to fit inside your car.
Oh
So I
yeah,
have
I know what those are.
so no, my car coasters are basically Tesla. But going back to what you
Legit.
said, like I
Yeah.
think in a sense is you said about how like it's a California car, and it's that would
Yeah.
I would there's obviously things that there's a reason why I still live in Canada, but there's definitely a part of me that I would love to at least maybe even own some sort of property there, because I am so in love with how the climate, like how beautiful it is there, and the kind of the I love sun first off. Like that's an absolute favorite, and
That is
how
the
like
sun
sunny it is,
state.
and I feel so motivated when I do see sun. And whenever I've gone to California, I've always felt so good, and obviously because I'm probably on vacation 9 times out of 10, I'm going to Disney or doing something of
I
that set of trend.
I have a big tip for you. From
Okay,
did you know I grew up in California?
I did not.
Born and raised.
Okay,
That's the state I moved away from.
okay,
Um, live, uh, go and vacation in the area that you could realistically afford before you move.
okay.
Because you are correct. California is a beautiful place to visit and a beautiful place to have just property, but you don't live there. Maybe you rent
Mm-hmm.
it out, or it's an Airbnb or something. But permanent residency, unless you're able to live in more of a middle class area, it is not fun. It's it's very much, it's not the
Mm-hmm.
best place um to really want to stay permanently. I would say like Florida, or if you go up north of California, Northern California more, is a lot better. There's just, depending on where your affordability, California has a lot of homeless, which isn't necessarily bad, but depending on where you live, that could turn bad. And the cost of living doesn't, what you're paying to live there outweighs the sun. Like I would suggest like Florida or like Georgia or something.
Such a weird thing to hear, but it sounds so true. Like it's outweighs the sun. But yeah, and I from what I've heard is from a lot of people who are on like social media kind of side that move for that kind of purpose, and that's not the purpose I'd be going for. It'd be for the fact of just being able to kind of feel more motivated and have more drive in a sense, but also
which is why Northern California would be best for you if you're not trying to be there for any of like social gain. Northern California is cheaper, but you still get all the benefits of the sun and the beach. It's Southern California, so San Diego, LA, and obviously San Francisco's north, but don't go there. But San Diego, LA, it's $5-6 for gas, and you're paying $3,500 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath studio apartment. So
how much did you say? Sorry,
$3,500.
Oh my goodness.
And that's San Diego. That's not even LA. And your minimum wage right now, I think it's like $15-16 for minimum wage there, which tells you a lot about a state. If a state has a very high minimum wage, those are still people that can't afford a house, or people who are under minimum wage. So if a California's minimum wage is already $16, that means, it's you have to make at least $22 an hour to live there comfortably.
And I think it everywhere's and I think
so. If you find a job that you can live there, go for it. It's beautiful and it's great. But if you know you're gonna end up living in a lower area of town, it's almost worth looking like Texas or Arizona or Florida, where you're getting more sun, but you're not getting the unrealistic expenses of California. Because a lot of my friends are still there, and a lot of them have 2 jobs and still live with parents because they're like, I just can't afford to move out. They're like, I can't do it. Yeah. And oh my God, have you heard of a smog check? Good, you better get a fucking Tesla if you move to California.
Oh no, I've seen smog. Oh yeah.
You better get a Tesla if you move to California, because you can't have any other car.
when I went to when Alyssa and I went the first day, she's like, I thought you said it's always like sunny here. I was like, no, every morning there's smog, and it's pollution. It's not like it's anything else. Like it's not fog. It's not even fog. It's not fog. It's not raining. Yeah, and then after
there's
like
no fucking moisture in this air. It is just the car pollution.
Exactly.
Breathe it in, baby. That's called wealth. You're breathing in the rich people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you breathe with the rich. Breathe in.
You're breathing with the rich.
But I think I definitely lost a. My mom's saying we're moving to Palm Springs. All right, sounds good, Mom.
We'll all live together.
The thing is, one big family.
One big family.
One big traumatized family.
She doesn't know what Hype House is, but we'll become the next Hype House.
My mom might know what Hype House is. My mom is very cultured.
Mom, do you want to become the next Hype House?
Keep in mind, my mom, my
millennial house.
Hype House, but moms.
Hype House, but wine women.
My mom actually doesn't drink. My mom doesn't drink at all. My mom's allergic to alcohol, so she's not even a wine woman. She's a crazy cat lady is what she would be.
I was drunk at 11 a.m. this morning. Good for you, Mom.
But I think as far as like, because we went to Florida in 2019. That was actually my last big. Was it? No, it was my second to last big trip before COVID hit. And we went to Disney World. Yeah, we went to Disney World, and I talked about it a little bit. I think. Oh no, maybe I didn't talk about it on stream. I got stuck in between airports for 21 hours. Before
if you're talking about Orlando, don't you dare let that tarnish your life in Florida. If you're talking about the Orlando airport.
No, it wasn't about the Orlando airport itself.
Okay,
It was
good.
like, but I think the start of the trip was so negative that led me to like, and there's some like, and that was I was just in kind of a bad mood because of all of it, because I was so tired because I didn't sleep for
Yeah.
basically 21 hours and plus, and I was stuck in airports without real sleeping. I was like
But
sleeping. We were like sleeping
Disney.
on floors, and that's the thing
But
is, so we did Disney. Almost cried on the
oh,
Pandora ride because it was so amazing and
which one? The
like
Flight of Passage where you're like on
yeah
the
yeah
what are they
yeah
called?
that's it. The Banshees.
Animal?
Banshees.
Yes.
Banshees.
The
Yeah.
animal
You
thing.
looked at me like you looked like me like I said something wrong. I was like, oh no, did I just cancel myself?
No. I think it's a banshee. I think it is. I was never
And
really
then
that much into Avatar, but that is an amazing ride.
the River of Navi was also a really
Yes.
amazing one too. That one was like probably the most too underrated. But no, I don't know. I definitely if I don't know if I would. I don't know. As I'm assuming that's the one you worked at, correct? Or no?
Actually worked for Disney. I worked for
Sorry.
companies outside of Disney. I was a princess
Oh.
for companies outside of Disney.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, good to
Yeah.
know.
So I worked for Disney, but I never worked at the
Okay.
parks.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay, that's new to
Mm-mm.
me. I didn't know that.
I just go there so much that I practically do work at the parks. So I wish
Which
I
one do you
could,
mainly go to?
honestly. World.
Which
I
world?
well,
Yeah,
depending on what you say, because since I grew up in California, I went to Disneyland once or twice a year, but I prefer Disney World.
that's the
And I've gone to
dream.
Disney World like 5 or 6 times.
I wish I could go once or twice a year. I go like every 2 years to one of them if I get lucky. I think as far as the
We literally
but
did
no,
a
I
last minute Disney World trip back in August 2020. Don't COVID, shut up. I know there was COVID, all right? We were careful. But we went in August because I was like, I don't want to be here right now. This world is depressing. So we just went
the
to
amount of
Disney World
times
for like 3 days.
Belissa's looked at me and said, "I want to go back to Disneyland," or like throughout this time is unbelievable. And if we could safely do it and leave Canada and come back safely and
Hmm.
like without like if we knew for sure there was no risk of getting anyone sick or anyone harmed in like around us or in our life, I would say let's go for it. But it's such a high risk right now. It's not worth it, and we'd also have
And
to
that's the
take time
thing
off.
is Aaron and I both work as essential workers right now. So if we're gonna get it, we're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
In kind of mentality, like we both are essential workers. I'm in contact with 20, 40 people a day. And so
Yeah.
I'm always, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what's so our mentality was we'll be safe, we'll wear our masks, we'll stay. And the airports are actually amazing. We were all seated either next to each other, or if we had to be separated because of the flights, how full they were, we were always a seat or two away from any stranger we didn't know. They were
Mm-hmm.
so adamant on the mask. Like if you took your mask down to take a sip, the second you went to go put your cup down, they were like, "Hey, lift your mask up." Like they were on
That's
it.
good.
And
Yeah.
once we got to Disney, they were even better. Disney was like, "Keep your fucking mask on. I don't care. You're not meeting any characters. We hardly came into contact with anybody." And if we were on a ride, they always had a cart in between people to keep people
Mm-hmm.
away from each other.
See, that's what scares me because I know Disney as a packed park, and
Mm,
obviously with COVID, you cannot do that. So obviously, I'm a big hope of okay. I hope this things with like the vaccine works. I hope that things like that work out so
yeah,
that I don't have so I can go back to a normaler life. And obviously, I don't think
yeah,
it's going to go ever back to a normal quote unquote, but I hope it's going to go back to a
true.
more normal life and something that we can get to. Like I think there's a couple things that will die off with coronavirus and COVID. Like I think a big
Yeah.
part of like in a sense, I don't know if handshakes will, but something like a handshake will. In a sense, like I think part of that and well, like a lot of like physical hand touching, I think will end for the most part,
Hmm.
except for with like the people that you were like in contact with, like family members. I think that is obviously in a sense, but I also know that there's also a lot of businessmen who still haven't stopped shaking hands even since COVID started, which is I don't understand at all.
I mean,
And
it's more of an
then
airborne, so I can kind of get it because since
yeah,
they've been saying it's more airborne,
you know how
as
many
long
people
as
touch their face?
as long as you're washing your hands and sanitizing immediately after, I guess
Yeah.
it's not like too bad, but I also don't get why you would handshake at this time. But I could
Yeah, exactly.
see the mentality of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could see the
I, and
gears
I,
working in their heads.
and I've seen people kind of say like, oh, it's like it's a point of trust, and like how you trust
Yeah,
someone and how
no.
you show that you're going into like a bond of trust together. And I guess, but is it worth killing your family for, or making your family really sick for, like at this
But
point in time?
who are you trusting? Like these are I literally during COVID, the peak of COVID, I work in an office. I went into the bathroom at my office and I walked in into a stall when somebody was leaving a bathroom stall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I literally
Okay.
heard the person flush the toilet in their stall
I'm gonna shut up.
and then walk out. You're good. This is intermission real quick. Bren is
Kind of.
moving his. Are you standing up?
Yeah, standing desk.
You have a standing desk?
Yeah. It's gonna
Bruh.
get really light.
We have a fancy
Yeah.
man in chat here, everyone. We got a fancy
So
man.
that's what
What
I
the
hurt my
fuck?
back really bad in
Now you have to stand.
December of 2019. And so as I was doing this, it wasn't really healing properly. So I got this desk, and it has probably been one of the best purchases I've ever got. And I've been having knee issues recently, and my doctor's like, remember that standing desk we got
Standing
you?
desk?
Use that.
Use it. Yeah.
Here, one second. I'm
Well,
just gonna
I-
get the pad that's underneath the
Go
desk
for it.
here,
I'll
but
continue
keep
my
talking.
story in
I'm
chat.
still
So-
listening.
I I heard the person in the bathroom leave the stall, flush the toilet, and then walk out, not wash their hands, touch the doorknob, not sanitize anything, and just leave. And that was in the peak of
You're
COVID.
nasty.
Like that was like April of 2020, like peak of COVID. And I remember sitting in my stall, like this bitch did not just not wash her hands. I was like, she did not. And I left that stall, washed my hands, and then like used sanitizing wipes and just like cleaned every doorknob on my way out. Cause I was like, that's disgusting. So if she
Totally.
was doing that in the peak of COVID, I can't imagine
Gross.
what she was touching and doing before
Oh,
COVID.
totally.
So
Gross,
I don't
yeah.
care about trust at all. I'm not shaking anyone's hand anymore.
Let alone
Unless I'm
touching a
gonna
door handle.
sanitize.
Right?
I
Yeah.
don't. I
You know-
like take napkins now in my office and touch all the door handles because I'm like that one experience ruined it for me. I can't look at a doorknob in that office anymore without being like,
Totally.
did that girl who doesn't wash her hands touch this? I don't even know who it was because she left
That-
as I was already in my stall.
Oh.
So I don't even know who I can't even point the finger at anyone. I
Gross.
can't even be like, you don't wash your hands, don't you?
You're nasty.
You're nasty.
Oh, I was gonna say something about that too. Is something? Oh my goodness, I'm totally drawing a blank to it now. It was
You had to
something
go
related to
stand
that.
up. All the
I
blood
just had
rushed to
didn't
the
I?
rest of your body. It's not in your brain anymore.
My legs are actually feeling something. You're like, wow, I can actually
You're
walk
like,
around.
wow,
and
this
not
man
fall
can
asleep.
stand up.
This
Shit.
guy can stand on his own 2 feet. Oh my goodness, what was it? It was something related to what you were saying about that story. And I'm oh, you know what's this is what it was. You know what's crazy is you said, oh, the peak back in April 2020. We're 1 month away from April.
You know.
Isn't
That's
that
my
so weird to
birthday.
think? Wow, happy almost birthday.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
share
gonna have
your
a birthday
birthday?
stream. You better be there.
Okay. Oh,
It's I think
well,
my
what
birthday's
is it?
on. My birthday's April 16th. It's a month away from now, guys. Chat. Get ready.
Wow, look at that.
Aw,
See,
damn,
it was
my
meant
birthday's
to
on a
be for
Friday.
you to be in this. Okay, I'll have to see. I'll as long as I'm not working, I'll be there for sure, 100%.
Well, I'll probably do it on like Tuesday or Thursday of that week.
So good news, and I think I might have. I think I told you this already. I think off stream though is that
Yeah.
I will be for sure doing all streams on Tuesdays. I have been approved
Yes.
for Tuesdays off. So if you have a Tuesday, 100% I'll be there. No doubts about it. So yeah, mod check.
You can
Brendan
still
will
be my
there.
mod check and on Tuesday
Exactly.
streams. Woo!
Exactly, for sure. And then the question mark for Thursdays. It depends on what time I work on those days.
Honestly, Thursdays are like my hit or miss streams. Yeah, Thursdays are like, hey guys, I'm logging on, but like I don't know what we're doing. Like,
So we're
hi,
gonna go
what do you guys
back-
want?
We're gonna finish off with one of the more deeper questions that I have on here, and I actually haven't asked this question to I don't think anyone, because I want to
Oh,
because
I'm
how
ready.
open you've been, so I want to see how
Yeah.
how you answer it, because I think you've taken a lot of
Okay.
honesty and bravery into this, so and courageousness,
Thank
which I appreciate.
you.
But I'm gonna push you one last time before I let you go. Here
It's
today.
okay. My therapist does it weekly, so.
Can
I'm
you remember
ready,
the last
heavy
time you
with it.
cried, and what was the reason?
Um. Yes, the last time I cried was, I don't remember when. It was probably a couple months ago. I don't cry often. I think it was like 2 months
Kinda scary.
ago. Are we talking like emotional cry because I'm crying because of something that's happening in my life, or I'm crying because a dog died in a movie? Because if it's the movie cry, I cried like 2 days ago because I watched a very intense scene in a show, and I was just like, fucking, I couldn't take it.
Oh my god. Okay, that reminds me. Do you know what? Sorry, first off, have you ever watched Marley
Go
and
for
Me?
it. Yes, fucked me up as a child.
How is that a family
Devastating.
movie?
I
How is that a
don't
family
know.
movie?
Devastated.
That's not for
I
children. That
remember
should not be
watching
for
it with
children.
my family. Yeah, I remember watching it like for the first time with family and being like, what?
Yeah,
there's
no time that I have not
8 years old.
felt upset or cried or something about that when I watched that movie. Like I have cried every single time I watched that
Same.
movie.
Same.
Like why? How is that a family movie? That's not safe for families.
Trauma.
Yeah, exactly. So
Don't
sorry.
know.
Go on.
You know
Albert.
what else that I don't understand as a family movie? What is that one movie? Fuck. First of all, any Transformers. How is that a family movie? And
Megan Fox.
There was fuck. I can't remember the movie, but I'll probably think of it off stream. But it was like this targeted family movie, and it had so many like sexual innuendos. It was like a family parent. Fuck, I can't remember it. Maybe it wasn't a family movie. Maybe it was just like me seeing it as a young child and being like,
Why does my parents let me watch this?
I don't know. Why am I watching this? But no, if we're talking like that kind of cry, I cried 2 days ago because it was a very emotional scene in a show I was watching on Netflix. And I was just like, oh my God. It was so awkward too because I was at work and I was like trying so hard to not cry. So I was just like tears in my eyes and I'm just like watching this scene. I don't want to get too graphic, but she goes through a, traumatic experience that sometimes happens when you're getting robbed. Fill in the blank. Yeah, and I remember just being like, oh my God, like, no. And like, I'm like cheering up. And then the last time I cried, like personally, was probably 2 months ago. And it was during an argument I was having. And I remember just being like, I'm over being upset. Like, I just remember, like, it was nothing about the situation, but I just remember being like, I'm over feeling mad and upset. So then I just started crying. And I hardly cry. So when you see me cry and it's like an emotional me thing, that's when anyone around me is always like, oh fuck. Like, oh no.
What has she done?
What has happened? Yeah. What has happened? So but what's the last TV show? Yeah, I have a question for you. What's the last TV show you watched?
Last TV show I'm actually still currently watching, or the one that I finished, or one that I'm watching.
Either or. What do you want to talk about?
I will probably pick the one that I'm doing because I'm like I've actually had to like literally
Invested?
stop myself from watching. Yeah, I've had to stop myself from watching it because I don't get anything else done if I start watching it.
Same.
Because I'm
Same.
I'm totally into it, and then that's how I get with certain like things. Like I oh my
ADHD,
god, I swear
telling you.
I dropped
I'm
everything
telling you,
in my
I'm
life
the same way.
when I watch Modern Family, but that's not the one I'm watching right now. But I literally watched Modern Family like straight for like 2 months, and that's all I did when I had free time. But right now, the big one that I'm on is Superstore. Oh my god, that is so funny. If you ever worked in retail, it's definitely played up.
Where is it based?
There's some parts. There's some. It's supposed where's it like the store base supposed to be?
Don't they have accents? I think I've seen like clips of it. Or am I thinking of something else?
You're thinking of something else. I know exactly what you're thinking of. Oh my goodness.
It's like based in England or something, and it's like the same like
yes
store.
It's the same kind of style. But it's like a video game. It's like a Best Buy type of store.
Yes.
I know exactly. Yes. So that's not the one, but it's very similar in a sense. I thought that's what it was. Oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy because like the logo is like a yellow logo. I know exactly what you're talking
Yes.
about. I just can't
Yes,
piece
I've seen the
what it
clips on
is.
TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some like
Yes.
hilarious one-liners. So this one is
Look at Aaron in chat trying to stir up drama.
what is Aaron stirring up drama and what is he saying? What is he doing?
I'll wait
Can't
till you
back
see
me
it.
what isn't real. What isn't real?
I hate this man. He would start World War III just to laugh at it.
Oh, I've seen his streams. Oh, totally, he would. And they would just sit there and go. I think that's one of the best emotes you could have on there.
Dude,
So,
everyone loves it. Every time he goes into a different chat and uses it, everyone is always like, "That is the best." What is happening with my I guess thing? What are you doing to me? I keep moving on screen.
You what? You're moving. Are you?
I was moving
What?
a little bit on your stream. I was like,
Oh,
I
really?
was like smaller, and then I was bigger, and then I was smaller, and then I was bigger.
So you know what happens is that I hit a little piece in the corner of my thing that it makes your screen go smaller. And so that sometimes when I hit that by accident, because I use it on day to day when I'm doing things, that's when things are. So just a side note, Mom, Aaron is a hamster. He's not actually a person. That's
he is a
that's
hamster.
who Brun is.
So COVID is
dating.
not real to him because he is a hamster.
Yes, it does not affect you. This is,
He just
we're getting
runs
to
on
weird.
his
We're getting to
own
weird
wheel.
territory now. That's how
He
he
just
runs his
runs on
Twitch
his wheel.
streams. Definitely someone I would promote as a streamer, though. If you want to go check him out, go check out Aaron.
I told him he should get on an interview soon, and he was like, "I don't do
He
that."
should. Well, he did say to me that if he could figure out a way to get his stream set up, he would definitely do it. And I said
He would
okay.
do it. Yeah,
So,
but he would not
think-
do any of these deep questions. You would have to ask him stupid, silly questions, and he would be good with it. I don't think he would go.
I'll have to put up my- I'll have to update my
into
list.
his soul. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'm going to give this last little bit of time for you. It's open forum. You can shout out anything you would like, anything you want.
Oh, no.
If you guys type !guest, which I will do right as I'm speaking here, you will find the location to go follow Brun on Twitch. I highly suggest hers. I mod for her stream, so I will be hanging out there in most of the days that that I'm off and free and able to do it. There's a stream tonight, I know, but I'll let you take it away.
Yes, so going off of that, I will be streaming tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's in a few hours from now. I think about 3 hours from now I'll be streaming. So no matter where you are, you can get in and have fun. I do pretty much anything. We just like to talk sometimes, or I play some silly chat games or games in general. You can also find me on any of my social medias is MissBrunettee _ for Instagram and Twitter. And then my TikTok is MissBrunettee 1. I don't use too much social media. Again, I'm really using this as a hobby and trying to figure it out. But if I do decide that this is something I want to pursue more, then I will definitely be using my social media more. So follow those if you want to see more of who I am in the future. And that's all I got. Thank you. Thank you for letting me on again. I always have fun chatting with you, even off stream and on stream.
For sure.
It's always fun.
Sounds good. We are going to raid someone, so I think it'd be kind of fun if you still have some time, if you want to raid. And I plan to ask the streamer some questions. So I'm just scrolling down here. I'm going to the bottom of just chatting to see if I can find someone who looks fairly interesting that would be willing to answer our questions.
Appreciate.
I would love
who
to.
would have the time, not throw you off. I'm
Yeah.
following. Thank you, Mom. You're now chat mom, like Aaron's mom. She's chat mom for my chat, and now you're Bren's chat mom. So you are now just mom.
Sounds good.
We shall now address you as mom.
It's a good follow, Mom.
It's
I'm
a good.
I'm just
it's a good
scrolling down here
compliment.
to see who can find here.
Take your time.
It's
I'll
Tuesday,
entertain.
my dudes.
So everyone, tune in every Tuesday. Maybe sometimes I don't know his schedule yet, but so every Tuesday, tune in
Tuesday
at
for
a
sure.
time that is unannounced to me to Bren's channel. He'll be here doing this. Not with me though, but maybe. Who knows?
We'll see. Possibly. It depends if people are wanting you back. Maybe we will have to have you back. So as far as
You're getting
the
steady for only having 55 followers. Let me tell you, you have been steady this entire time. I have been on people's streams who have a couple hundred followers, and they don't even get 1 or 2 views. So I say
appreciate it.
keep going. It's gonna be rough in the beginning when you're like, nobody's fucking watching me. I'm dog shit. But I'm dog water. That's my favorite term right now. Is I'm dog water.
I don't understand that at all.
It's so funny. It's funny. I don't understand it either, but I love it. But you're gonna hit a point where you're like, I'm trying to go so many places, like how you said my last stream was, where you're like, that was so funny, but nobody saw it.
Yeah,
I didn't even really care because I was just having fun, you know. And eventually people will see it.
True. And that's, I guess.
And if nobody does, then like, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna Aaron and I were probably gonna play that game off stream anyways, so I might as well stream it.
It's a game that I've even looked into too. It's a stream that I'm even interested in getting into. I didn't even know it was a game.
We might finish it tonight, actually. We might finish it tonight if that's something that chat's interested in us doing. We might just finish it.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm still working on this. My computer's like dying.
Do you want to help?
Find someone.
Do you want help?
Sure. If you want to try and take a look and see, I'm looking for someone with a full face cam that we can go and see, and that will be doing just chatting, and will possibly be open to it. So I'm currently looking at low viewership. So if you guys have anything, link them in the put their name. Don't link them because it will knock off a link. But put their name if you know anyone that's just chatting who we could raid and ask them some deep questions, and maybe we'll get a viewer. Maybe we'll get a person who can be on this another time. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be always a cool raid if you can get that.
And Chad, right? You found Chad by just chatting, right?
I did. I have found all the people, almost everyone that I have met through just chatting, and that's why I do just chatting, because I think it's a little more interesting, because it's a little more connecting. I think I found someone. I think I might have found someone, but I just need to see if the last person I clicked was a follower only, and I just didn't want to join into a follower only when we have questions like that. So
yeah, that's always rough, because then you're like, you're really making me commit here.
Yeah, exactly. We have to be friends.
That's why I don't do follower only or anything, because it's like, you're really making people commit here. Like, if you don't follow me, then you can't talk to me, and it's like, who are you?
Yeah, at a certain point, we might
the
have
nicest
to, but
way
I think
possible.
For now,
who are
there's
you?
there's no reason. Okay, I think this is
right,
going to be it. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over here and /raid. If my
join the raid or you're lame. That's the motto.
Join the raid or you are lame. So, oh my goodness, my computer's like gonna die trying to do this. It's like I typed out raid like a minute ago, and it's still not doing anything. There we go. Okay, we got raid typed out. Oh, everyone's in the stream's gonna hear this now. Okay.
That's okay.
So we're going to raid Fox Queen. So we're gonna raid.
What's a raid? It's where we go to somebody else's channel, Mom, and we show them support, and it also simultaneously helps Brun out, because then it brings people to his channel potentially.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Oh no, I'm opposite.
I'm gonna have like this weird feedback because her thing is going through. Here, let's see, can we?
You're okay, take your time. I'm entertaining for you.
There we go.
Make sure you're following Brun. If you're not following, what are you doing with your life? Now get in this raid. We got 6 people here. I want to see 6 raiders. Let's go. Get in, get in, get in.
Is it showing up? I feel like it is, but I don't know because my computer's like...
It's showing up. It's showing up.
My computer's like...
Bye, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Brun, say bye. Brun, say bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Did it go through? I don't know if it's gone through yet.
Just kidding.
My computer's like dying to do this.
It's ready. It's showing me you're ready. Oh, wow. Your computer is dying.
Everything's frozen. Everything's frozen completely. So
on my end, it's like it shows on the chat. It says like you're ready to go, but for you, it's not.
For this. No, it's like a blank little emblem there. So we will have to.
Oh no. Okay, we'll continue to entertain chat.
I don't. Oh, something went wrong. Run in the quick direction again. Okay, I have 10 seconds left. It says 6 viewers are ready. Come on, don't down me now, computer. Let's go. Let's keep pushing. Keep grinding. It's been at 10 seconds for like 2 minutes. Come on. Big hype in the new chat that we're gonna go into here.
Stay.
If I can ever raid 9, 8. Come on.
Your computer, my brain. Would you want to hang up on me? Is that gonna help?
Yeah. I don't even think it would be anything. I think it's Twitch, but I don't know because I have no idea.
It probably is Twitch.
Painfully slow.
You use Streamlabs? It's probably Streamlabs.
I'm not Streamlabs. I'm OBS, but I think I might have to switch over because that might save some CPU. I'm hoping. I'm at 8 seconds.
Oh,
but
we're
that's
raiding.
not actually true.
We're gone. Okay, don't forget to
did we
say
actually
goodbye,
raid?
and hey,
we
don't
really?
forget to like end your stream. Otherwise, they're gonna still hear us.
Did it go to raid? Did it raid?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh,
We're
bet.
here.